poppin', everyone?
What's poppin'?
How you niggas doing?
The niggas is feeling Memorial.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I mean, it's Memorial Day. I feel like you have to memorialize something.
Memorial Day is celebrated for, what is that for, like the...
Nigga, I don't know.
I keep forgetting what's the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
I think it's not the same thing. Veterans, maybe memorials for dead veterans.
Memorials for the dead ones and veterans are for the live ones.
I don't know, y'all. Y'all just want a holiday for every white person in this world.
You don't think there's black veterans?
There are black veterans, but veterans in general get treated like shit. And more so over, when people think of veterans in X, Y, and Z, we're not talking about, you know, the black people that did it. Because technically people only that are black did it to get out of poverty. And it's really a scam.
Yeah, all that is true.
So...
if you haven't already, please check us out on our YouTube, our Patreon. We do have Sip and Review where you send us shit and review it. We have our TikToks, our reel. Our last reel was actually, honestly, that one was like it wasn't a pain in the ass to record, but it was like the first couple times we did it, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be hard. But I feel like the more times we did it.
I don't think that it was that hard. I feel like you kept saying that it was hard because you're like, I'm in a shape. I'm like, no, you're not. Just because you haven't been to a gym in a month doesn't mean you're out of shape. It just means you're not in the rhythm of doing something like that. Because that was actually like, because we was doing something nonstop. Because I told you, you're more fit than me because you will be in the gym for like 8 hours. In 30 minutes, I'm ready to go.
Not lately. You've been training for that sparring races.
Girl,
and you've been working out.
This sparring race, it's going to be, I don't know if I'm going to do it this year because I still don't have the endurance. Like, I can literally do like the obstacles, but the run is what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, our last reel did real well. I'm very proud of us. What else do we have? We have our extended tea time?
That's on Patreon. So
yeah.
You said YouTube. You said we didn't talk about Twitter. We have a Twitter. I've been neglecting Twitter because I've been busy and I don't be on Twitter as much as Sammy, so I don't even be registering that Twitter actually needs love and care. So we have a Facebook, y'all. What else do we have?
We have beautiful faces and nice asses and bank accounts that needs deposits.
Yeah, so give us a P.O. box because you know what? You never fucking know what we may need when we need it.
All right. Well, the girls are back at it to get another messy-ass episode of Sip and Spill. We create conversations. Oh, wow.
Sipping wine.
I go by the name of motherfucking Sammy.
And I'm ambitious, the TikToker, Teray.
All right. So, y'all, I feel like we just got to put a little PSA out there. We have been recording every week. Lately, it probably seems like we've been putting out material like every once in a while. Yeah. Trust us, we've been recording. The only thing is
the recording hasn't been recording us. It's like either our video is lagging or our audio is off or something.
Or the person that came on as guest didn't do a good job. Or
so it was literally always something. And
I feel like we've had the last
3 episodes.
Like it's been like 3 or 4 episodes we did not put out.
I'm gonna say at this point it's like I was literally telling my friend, I'm like, I work today. She was like, no, you're off. I said, no, podcasting is really work because at this point I'm like, we've been doing so much to make it work, and right now I was like the videos are not working with us, or the audio. I said everything is working against us. This is really a test of my faith right now. I said, it's working. I'm working right now.
Yeah, so don't think we're not putting out content. We are. You know how much it sucks to know that you did like last week's episodes was really good.
Yeah.
And just to put all that and find out 45 minutes in, the video was lagging.
It was lagging. And it was like, we didn't even finish the episode. We were just like, okay, well, it's lagging. It's like, because usually Sammy was like, let's get some questions in so we can get some content. She didn't even want to get that. And I'm like, shit, I don't mind stuff like that. Because I mean, something is better than nothing, but she's a perfectionist. I'm not. I just feel like, just see our beautiful fucking faces and know that we fucking tried. What was it? No, it was the last 2 episodes. Yeah, we all trying to just do the questions. Because the one that we had with Nee.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do questions for that one.
We did questions for Nee.
Did we?
Remember we asked about the 5-year-olds and then all that? Yeah.
We didn't do questions last week.
Yeah, it was last week. We were like, fuck it. Because we were going to do content anyway. We did our TikToks and stuff.
But it was a really good episode that I feel like we should have just, baited on the nut. Like, I thought that was a great episode. I don't know if we can recreate that magic.
I think so. I think anything impossible. What did Whitney Houston say? Impossible things are happening every
Girl, you are soft.
day.
I'm not close to you. I don't even know how to close you. First of all, hold on.
I forgot how that song went.
Side note, Houston, y'all been cutting up this last weekend. I meant to make a disclaimer earlier, but can we please put the guns down and start hugging motherfuckers? Like, more hugs, less thugs. I just think we should say that real quick. No shooting in clubs. I feel like that should be a non-disclosure or whatever. What the fuck y'all say? Something that should go without saying. Lives are more important than your temporary madness. I talk to someone that always tells me if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't give it 5 minutes of your time, even though it's something I'm working on, because if it's angering me for 5 minutes, I'm going to let it last 5 years. Okay? That's how I feel. But you know what? Y'all, just
it's been crazy.
Let's not kill someone. I mean, if you want to shoot up the air or shoot in your neighborhoods so your rent's cheaper. But not at clubs, because we all want to go out and have a good time. We have a hard life that we live. We work Monday through Friday. People usually use the weekend as their only release. So can we at least have the weekends to know that we're not going to die? Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you could probably shoot at some niggas. But the weekend, can we at least be safe? I don't know.
Not just Houston. Texas been cutting up all over Memorial Day weekend. Some girl was pussy popping at a function on yesterday or sometime during the weekend.
Aren't they always all pussy popping?
Not naked, actually, not fully nude. That was what put through over the edge. 2 people died at Clay. 4 people were injured. People were fighting the seaside. There was a lot of stuff going on.
But the thing is, I want to realize, what does the holidays do that bring that out of people? Because at the end of the day,
I think it brings out more people. It's just the amount of people is more.
Memorial Day is not, like I keep saying, it's not for us. It's not a us holiday.
It's not.
So why are we going so hard in the pain for this European concept?
I feel like niggas always party.
Find a reason to party.
Yeah.
We really do. I feel like I need to go this hard for Martin Luther King's Day. I need y'all to go this hard on Malcolm X Day.
But
whenever
we do.
The fuck that is.
They have MLK parties, MLK block parties, MLK.
Damn. Can we just chill out for 8 seconds?
They feel like any reason.
To pop
we
out,
voting.
pop out.
Oh, it's voting day. Let's pop out. Let's pop bottles. Oh,
you know, I don't mind to go pop bottles. You popping bottles at Crew Lounge, okay? It's on 311 Travis Street in Houston. So come pull up. Book with Ami. Shameless plug, y'all.
That was actually shameless of you to do that.
So let's get into some fun facts, because I can go in on Houston niggas all the fucking time, but you know what? We got a fucking episode to produce.
So my fun fact, actually, damn, I gotta make up one on the spot. My fun fact is I am wearing Crocs today. You know, I'm not a huge Croc wearer.
But you bought 2 pairs.
I did, just because it was really cheap. So I was like, why not? Take advantage of the sale. And I only got Crocs because Ami had Crocs. And
Ami wears Crocs every day, and she wears the same ones faithfully, y'all. I don't know if y'all know. If y'all ain't never seen me out in Crocs, then y'all ain't really seen me. Because I will fuck up a really cute outfit with some Crocs.
Yeah, actually, we're both wearing Crocs today. So, hey.
That's not my fun fact, but...
Yeah.
It's a fun fact. So my fun fact is I'm obsessed with applesauce. Like, I literally love the Mott's unsweetened natural applesauce. I can't do that sweetened shit. I like the one that's natural, that tastes like absolutely nothing. Because another fun fact, I hate sweet apples. I only eat green apples.
That's crazy. I love the sweet apples.
Sweet apples give me such anxiety. I'm like, this is just like sweet on top of sweet on top of sweet. It's like eating waffles and then going in and eating a biscuit with honey. Just sweet on sweet. And I just feel like apples are just too sweet for me, unless it's green apples.
That's crazy. I love apples, and I love the not the Melon Dew apples, I forgot what it's called. I remember.
Honeydew.
Not the honeydew apples.
No, you said not Melon Dew. It's not honeydew. It's something. Is it apple crisp?
The Honey Crisp apples.
Something like. See, look.
That's what it is.
Put them all together.
The Honey Crisp apples. That's the one I like. Yeah. So let's get into some wine facts so we can get into some motherfucking tea time.
Tea motherfucking.
This is called Sledgehammer. I guess a fun fact is we drank this in one of the episodes we didn't air, y'all. So I bought 2 of it because we were supposed to. This was the episode where we recorded the episode that went bad, and then what happened was my dumbass didn't book the session when I thought I booked the session, so I got 2 of them. So Here's a fun fact about this wine that we're drinking again. But we did like this wine. So
did we? I don't remember if I liked it.
We liked it. We did.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a Sledgehammer. It's a Cabernet. It has 13.8% alcohol content in it. This is called the King of All Wine Grapes. Ooh. What else? It's gonna have a smooth, refined taste, enhances special occasions. Best paired with a prime steak, and it's for grown purposes. I feel like
grown purposes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
I think it means it's for grown
and sexy.
Whatever grown folks do.
When they drink wine, they have sex. If you drink
Does
wine,
everything lead to sex? You know what? I saw a tweet, right? And it was a guy that tweeted this. Let me get closer to the mic so I can make sure y'all hear this. First, let's turn on the message last episode before I get into this tweet.
You know what's another fun fact, y'all? I didn't have my fucking wine glass for 2 weeks, but the 2 weeks that we recorded, I didn't know. Yeah, I like it. I can't drink a lot of it, but yeah, I like it.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this tweet, and the guy said, me and this girl went on a date. She paid for it. Me and this girl went on a date. She said, I offered to pay for half. She said, no, I got it. And he said, well, I don't feel comfortable for you paying for the date. And he was like, okay, no. I'm sorry, y'all. One more time. Let's do this again. He said, her pays for the date. And him, well, I guess I gotta go have sex with you because, you pay for the date. And she was like, no, it's okay, I got it. He was like, I don't feel comfortable paying for a date if you don't get something in return. And he was like, see how that don't make sense on both sides? And I'm like, why does everything have to lead to sex? Like, why does you think because someone pays for the date, you automatically get sex? He's trying to say that if she pays for the date, he should have sex with her. And if he doesn't, it's wrong for him not to have sex because she paid for the date. So why is it not wrong for women to have sex when women pay for a date? And I'm like, why does everything have to lead to sex? Why can't you read a book after a date? Why can't you hold hands and pray? Why can't you
hold hands and pray after I got 3 tequila and Red Bulls? I'm ready.
Who said you're drinking? It's just a date. You go on bike dates. You go on yoga dates. You go on all kinds of dates. You go on movie dates.
But usually day dates end up being like night dates because you just be so comfortable. You're like, damn, I can spend all day with you.
Okay,
let's do it.
Okay,
so it does lead to sex. I'm sorry, the road leads.
All dates does not have to lead to sex.
I didn't say all dates, but most dates leads to sex because you know what? I got private parts. You got private parts, and we like touching each other.
I just don't feel like just because someone pays for the date, that automatically means...
I don't think that's an automatic, go-to, but everyone feels like they have nothing left to offer if it's not money. So they're like, let me just throw some pussy at you. Because, if I can afford my date, I don't feel obligated to have sex with you. Because if I can... You
only feel obligated when the date is expensive?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like, if it's like $100 meal and I know I could afford it, and if I wanted to swing it...
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to have sex with you. But if it's like a $300-$400, I'm like, you spent $304 and we going out to eat. We did this, and the third. Oh yeah, I feel like I'm obligated to bust that pussy open, and I told it, bring it back. Yeah.
I don't at all,
girl.
Whatsoever.
I said $400. I ain't paying that for me and a nigga. So if I gotta
whatsoever, and
then not talk about it the next day. Cool. I slept myself out for a date or two.
Oh no! But okay, let's get some tea time. So first and foremost, I wasn't familiar with this, but you are. The whole Monique situation. You want to fill us in?
Yeah, so I watched a video over the weekend. Actually, I watched it multiple times over this weekend because I'm going out of town, so I felt some type of way. It hit me so let me talk about the situation before I get into it. Monique was just like saying in full, she was like, y'all give me this title of auntie and I held it, and auntie needs to speak to my babies right now. And she was pretty much saying how Black women have no respective representation of themselves, because she said that there's been many times where she's seen women be out and about in bonnets, in headscarves, in pajamas. And I guess it hit as like a stroke of like a nerve in me, because it's like, I am a woman that leaves my house in my bonnet, and I do it with such pride. I don't give a fuck. I will go to Walmart, I will go to Target, I will go to the beauty supply. I will get out of my fucking bed and get a wax in my bonnet.
Why not?
And I just feel like, why, and I just think it's only because black women do it, it's a problem. I mean, I understand what she's saying with representation, but I represent myself very well. So outside of me being in a bonnet, it should not correlate of how I feel about myself.
Right.
And the thing is, like somebody else was saying, you never know what someone is going through that day for them to be wearing that or being that way. And if that's how someone is comfortable, no one is talking about you and your comfort. Like, let someone just do what they got to do. What someone is wearing should be the least of your worries.
Yeah.
It should be how someone is acting as a representation of themselves, not of what they're presenting themselves as. Because if you were so judgmental to say that how someone looks is how they're going to show up, then that's crazy. It's like different if you're talking about jobs or something. But the airport, nigga, this is how I look in everyday life. I'm wearing Crocs in everyday life. So if I go to the airport, trust and believe, I'm in people's pajamas and in a bonnet, respectfully.
I feel like, why does dress how you want to be a dress only applies to people, well, black people really?
Yeah.
Because everyone else of every other race can go out looking crazy, get the messy hair, have their do-rags are a sign.
Have the luxury of looking crazy.
But they're not.
Black women?
We don't have the luxury of looking anyhow we want to look. Like, no one looks good 24/7. Sometimes you roll out of bed and gotta go to the store real quick.
I'm
You're not gonna make
sure more than 24.
Yeah.
You gonna catch me on a good day or catch me on a bad day.
I've been looking a hot fucking mess most of the time. Like, I'm the queen of wearing my bonnet everywhere I go. I don't wear my bonnet to the airport, but if I felt like it, I would. And I see nothing wrong with that. I haven't, because I have my whole airport get up that I always wear.
I never wear airport get up. The only time I wore airport get up is when I was going to Las Vegas and I knew I was gonna meet people on the other side.
Yeah.
But if I know I'm just going for leisure,
it's a fucking plane ride. Who
Who
cares?
Like, ain't nobody checking to see what you doing on an airport. Like,
at all.
They just want to make sure you get there on time.
Most people aren't checking for. I mean, I guess it depends on when you land. Because if I was landing in Dubai, I don't want to.
I will present myself a little bit better.
But
I'm just saying that I'm going from Houston to New York. Chances are I might.
If I'm going from Houston to anywhere else in the U.S., chances are
I'm gonna have a bonnet on. Me personally.
So I feel like I think the whole statement is bullshit, because like no one ever has the same energy for men, because a do-rag is basically what? A fashion statement. When you see a do-rag in public, you see white people in do-rags. So it's like, okay, so when they do it, it's a fashion statement, but when we do it, it's ghetto, it's ratchet, it's raggedy.
Like we don't care about ourselves or how we present ourselves.
Girl, a fucking bonnet is a protective style. I'm trying to protect this $300 I spent.
Actually a helmet of salvation, if you guys not heard.
Speaking of helmet of salvation, we were laughing at her helmet of salvation while she was laughing to the bank. Did you know sis put out a book? Her and him put out a book. Healing it's called something healing with whatever, and it sold out.
You know what?
Already they put out a book. So this, I feel like this
Honestly, it was probably like to get their attention, because I remember hearing about him before that shit. So, you know what? Joke's on us.
How was the book already written and ready and already put out when this shit just happened?
Joke's on us, bitch.
We were laughing at her and she was laughing at us.
That was the helmet of salvation.
All right, next thing.
Let's talk about mental health. Yeah?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Isn't it the next thing we're talking about?
Yeah, Naomi. She is the newest tennis superstar. I'm going to say that already. Put that out there for her. I don't know what she is dealing with right now, but I know she didn't speak out for the tennis open, whatever, the French tennis, whatever, the open, whatever. The French Open. She didn't talk to the press conference, and she said because she was having, she was taking a mental health day, whatever, and they fined her for it, and then she ended up saying, you know what, I'm just gonna, dip and drop out and not even do it because I don't want the attention on me. This is not what it's supposed to be. Like, I'm just having a mental health day. She says she suffers from crippling anxiety. It's very hard for her to speak in public. So that's why she decided to skip out on it. And she decided she just needs a, mental health break, and she's not going to be performing for this tennis tournament. And I feel like, go girl. Like, every time, like, Black women aren't allowed to be sensitive. We're not allowed to have these problems. We're not allowed to be, show that that we're not always strong. So I feel like it's okay to be like, look, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with the media, because I'm sure they're like talking down on her and she's seeing people saying horrible things about her. And how hard is it to always see people saying bad things, hundreds of people saying bad things about you all the fucking time. And it's like, I'm already dealing with shit and I have to deal with more shit. Yeah. So I don't want to deal with more shit, so I'm quitting for now. You know?
Yeah, I literally saw like the perfect meme for this. It says, y'all give black women no space to be vulnerable or emotional or tired or fucking done.
Yeah.
Y'all just say that we're having attitudes and downplay what we're going through. And I feel like that's true. Like, I feel like there's never no space for a black woman to be a black woman. She has to always be a mother. She always has to be a daughter. She always has to be a wife. She can never just be herself and take a breather. And with the situation with Naomi, I feel like
if it was anyone else, she wouldn't have been fined.
If it was anyone that wasn't black, because even Serena Williams had to go through shit like that.
Yeah,
like, she couldn't just be a black woman. She couldn't be angry when she lost because that meant that she was having poor sportsmanship. I'm like, bro, if I lose at spades, I'm ready to fucking fight. So I'm like, give people room to be who the fuck they are, especially black women. We need that space for ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
What do you think about Chloe Ray?
Yeah, like I always say, she's growing on me because at first I was like, this girl is talentless, blah, blah. And like I always say, like, it's like the light-skinned, pretty girl, like, thing. Is just because when you're light-skinned and pretty, it doesn't really matter if you have talent, a.k.a. sweetie. I love you so much, but...
You don't think she has any talent at all?
She has a very good talent for eating whatever the fuck she wants to and not getting any weight.
You don't think... I think that's surgery. Lipo me, please.
I think she does have bops. She has some great music, but like overall rapping, like would she be like top 5 of female rappers? No.
Absolutely fucking not.
She wouldn't even be top 10.
Absolutely fucking not.
I would put Azalea Banks over her, and I don't even like that bitch. So if you're not even top 20.
Okay, Ami.
That means I'm finding bitches from the early 90s to put over her. Like, because, I mean, easily I'm going to put, like, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and, like, you know, those bitches on, like, my top 5. And Meg, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, you don't think of Sweetie when you think of a rapper. You think of a really pretty girl that was dating Quavo.
Don't stop.
I mean, yeah. Because I remember I saw this tweet.
She's a pretty bitch.
There was, like, there was, like, Hot Girl Summer's over, what's next? And then, Sweetie was like Icy Girl Winter, and they was like, no. They say Tina Snow Winter. I was crying. I said, wow. But yeah, Coyle Ray, she's cute, she's adorable, and I mean she's doing what she's doing in her lane.
Yeah, I mean I ain't got no problems with her. I think she cool. I like her 2 little songs that she put out.
She got more than 2 songs, girl. She got at least like 5 or 6 out.
Okay, I like 2 of the 5 or 6 songs that she put out.
Because you don't even know the rest of them, do you?
I just
if you don't know the songs, just say
that. Did you see when she was performing in Houston and everyone was just standing there like, oh, no one knows their songs? But I feel like she was performing a song no one knew, so of course people are gonna be standing.
But that's the same thing with Cardi B. Cardi B came into Houston when she wasn't very popular and she was in Injury Room. This is years ago because Injury Room ain't been a thing for a while, and no one knew any of her songs were a mixtape. So you can't get mad at them trying to put y'all on shit that
I feel like you should perform your popular one and your mixed and your not so popular one. People like, I'm sure if you recorded them while she was doing No More Parties, the whole fucking club will be live because every time they come on, people are like, like that song popping, girl. I like that song.
It's a motivational song. Honestly.
It is. So speaking of her, anyway, so not too long ago, her and her dad exchanged words online, and she pretty much said like, "Hey, Dad, why are you coming at me like that? You know, you're a father. You're my father. Why can't we handle this appropriately? Child to parent." And that brings us to our topic of conversation: reparenting
yourself.
Ourselves.
Reparenting is basically saying, reparenting is giving your adult self what you didn't get in your childhood. So it's basically just stating that how we were raised makes us form or react the way that we act now. But now we need to heal from them traumatic experiences and take accountability for actions and become a better person. That's just as simple as it is.
While Sammy sips wine.
What were things that you liked that your parents did and things that you disliked your parents did as growing up?
Growing up a first generation Nigerian American, it was interesting because I get to see a lot of the traditional African culture, and I get to see from an outsider standard view, a regular American culture, and I get to grow up in both of these things and somehow I feel like I can give my children the best of both worlds. And growing up African, you know, African parents, they care about, they instill values in you that I think I love. Like, they instill values in you, like being like education. Number one thing about them, no matter what it is, they will pay whatever money, do whatever they need to make sure you got what you need for school, what you need for your education, for college, whatever. Another thing about African parents or just minority parents, period, they are prayerful people. Whatever you need, they just make sure they pray for you. What else they do? Besides, the occasional cursing that African parents do sometimes. Like, I feel like they're a group of people that can say like the best things about you in private, but like the worst things about you to your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not my mama, so I mean.
Yeah, I feel like they'll be like they call you all these horrible things, but I feel like when they talk about you to their friends, it's always like my child's the best.
Oh, of course, it's the pride.
It's definitely the pride. Making sure you're freaking fed. Growing up at home, I love to be able to come home to cook a cooked meal, warm food. Like my grandma will like pick up the food for you, wash your dishes, like make sure you're good, make sure you're fed, make sure your friends are fed. Like you cannot come home and actually going to an African house and not eating is actually disrespectful. So come hungry. And even if you're not hungry, just eat a couple of the dishes and just, pretend and you'll be all right. What about you?
Things I can say that I really enjoy about my mother, because I always say about my mother, because my father, we know, is because niggas ain't shit. My mother always spoke to me with so much love. Even though sometimes, which I'm going to get to, is she's not very confrontational and she doesn't handle confrontation well. She speaks to me with so much love. So that's why when I always say in the sense like, my mama doesn't talk to me crazy, you fucking never will. My mom does not talk to me crazy, and she's never has. In my 27, almost 28 years of life, my mom has never cursed me out. I mean, the worst she's ever called me was disrespectful, but isn't every child disrespectful to a parent at some time? Another thing I can say about my mother is she did put a very big emphasis on, like you said, on education. Education was the thing that she wanted you to have. And here I am with a bachelor's degree, and I want to be a podcaster for life. So I appreciate you for giving that to me, but what am I going to do with this debt? We're going to talk about that later. What am I going to do with this debt? Another great thing that I love about my mother that I want to instill in my kids is how supportive she is. She will have her little piffs or ideas to try to throw into my wrenches of dreams, but she's always been very supportive, and she's always been that number one person that's like, as long as you're happy, I love it for you. And I'm like, you know what? I love that for you, for me. So I love you, Mama. Thank you so much, man. Some things that I didn't like, I'm gonna get into. Did you have any things that you didn't like?
Yeah, I was gonna do it after you. You wanna go? Okay. Yeah?
Yeah, you
all right, so things I did not like growing up in an African ass household is the strictness. Strict parents only lead sneaky kids. That led me to getting a tattoo on my pussy at 14. I feel like when you're open and honest with your children and you let them know that they can come talk to you about anything, it leads to children not doing crazy, wild things for the most part, I feel like.
I don't know how much I agree with that. I just felt...
You don't feel like telling your kids about stuff okay, I feel like kids do stuff because they're told not to do it, and they're never told why or explain. They're just like, don't do that, that's bad. So I feel like if you have an open, honest conversation with your kid, like, this is why we don't do things, they're most likely not to do it.
Human nature, you're gonna always do what you never done just because you never did it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like you have to give your kids a safe space of knowing, of not being fearful. Because
to come to you after.
Yeah, to come to you after. Because I'm pretty sure there's been many parents that allow you to drink in the household, but you're still going to go out and say you're spending the night over Chrissy's house, but be over Trevor's house getting drunk as shit, getting blacked out. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, because as parents, our job is just to make kids feel safe. And no matter how safe you make a child feel, they're still going to find a way to be sneaky.
Yeah. Kids are,
that's what we do. That's what we rebel by nature, because we think that our parents know everything, but then you realize, you're like,
no, we think we know everything.
Well, they think that they know everything, and we're like, well, damn, we ain't even experienced shit to know if we know it. And we always think that only happened in your time. That would never happen in my time.
Yeah.
But it only gets worse with time. So it's like,
it does.
You should really listen just a little bit, you know?
Yeah, strictness led me to stealing my dad's car, going out with my friends. Strictness led me to sneaking out the house. So all that shit was a no-go for me. Not listening to reasoning. I feel like they just don't, you can explain something to them and just have it laid out. You can have a whole PowerPoint presentation on why you are saying what you were saying, and somehow they will miss the point. And they just don't grasp it. They don't want to listen to it. And it's because they are limited in so much as they know. And I'm not saying our parents are dumb. I'm just saying our parents they only know what their parents know.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why when we're selling things to them, they're like, no, Mom, can you just, no. But no, it doesn't matter because reasoning doesn't mean anything to them. Honestly, they're, same thing with why they don't fucking listen to reasons, they're stuck in their ways. And I feel that's the most stressful thing about them, but I feel like I just gotta accept it that no matter what, my mom is stuck in her ways and I can't do anything about how she feels about our situation.
That is definitely true. Also to piggyback what you said, not even to make it very drawn out, but strictness, yeah, that shit gotta go. Because I feel like parents being strict,
to a certain point at least,
I just feel like give us enough to know that we are loved, but not enough to make us scared that the consequences from you are worse than outside sources.
Yeah,
that's how I always felt.
I feel that's why teenagers always end up having babies and shit because they're scared to go to their parents.
Shit. The thing I really don't like about my mother is she's not very confrontational. She doesn't really communicate problems that we have. And that's something I don't want to have with my kids because constantly when me and my mother have confrontations, it always ends to she shutting down, us not speaking for months, and X, Y, and Z. And I said I would never want my child to feel like they have to be the one reaching out to me, or that if I say something that bothers them, that we're gonna have an issue for months on end without it being talked about. Like there's been so many times where my mom has hurt me, but instead of us talking about it, I hear that she's upset with me from my sister or from my aunt. And I'm just like, why can't I hear from the source? And me and my mom will go months. I think there was like one time, I think me and my mom went over a year without speaking.
Yeah.
We went over a year without speaking, and I was A-okay with it because I was like, I know I wasn't wrong. And my mom was like, I know I wasn't wrong. And I'm like, as a parent, I would never want to feel so comfortable going a year without talking about it to my child, ever. Because life is short. My mom could have died in that year, and I wouldn't have fucking known. So, that's one thing I dislike about my mother, but I'm going to do better because I know that sometimes with me, when it comes to confrontation, if I don't get super loud, I get really closed off and ready to cut everyone and their mama off. So,
yeah,
that I don't want. I'm still instilling.
So, full disclaimer: we are not professionals. Me and Ami, this is a opinion-based podcast, and me and Ami are just giving our opinions about how we think we should do things, and either you take it or you don't. You know. Mm-hmm. All right. So, according to holistic psychologists, our inner child is where the subconscious mind is formed. It's also where we learn to process emotions, etc. So, looking back, that's probably why we process things the way we process, or why we do things the way we do things. For example, I am a very calm person. And when things happen, I don't react like immediately. I just like wait and like just, react very calmly to very stressful situations. And I think the reason why I do that, because growing up, I grew up in a very loud, violent, abusive household. So, every holiday, every week, every whatever, there was always so much commotion and yelling and arguing in my house. And I'm the youngest of four, so I guess, my voice never really mattered in these arguments because, who's going to listen to a child, especially African parents? So, I feel like because everyone was always yelling in my household, and everyone was always loud. It was always loud in my house. That's why I'm not very loud. I'm not very out there. I'm not very when I don't really yell. I don't really get emotional about things. I'm very calm when things happen, and I think that is a straight source to why I can't give the emotions a lot of people want me to give for them. I don't know how that goes in my relationship, because I can't give you that emotion. And it's not that I don't feel it. Trust me, I feel the emotion. I just don't know how to express it. I feel like I'll be one of those people, when something crazy happens, they're like, oh, why is she reacting this way? Her child is kidnapped, and she's so calm. I'm like, I didn't kidnap my, I just can't react the way you want me to react, and people are gonna think I'm a killer because because I'm so calm and my child is missing.
That's a horrible example. I was like, whereas for her, I think it's like I'm the complete opposite, because I think since I was grown in a household where every time something came up, we were always told to shut up and be quiet and listen, that as an adult, my inner child wants to speak. So I'm very explosive when I'm angry. I'm very explosive about certain things that get me emotional. I get riled up really easy. And when I'm riled up, I have no problem with showing it. I have no problem with saying it, because that's just, I was in a household where I wasn't supposed to do that. So it's like our inner child forms of how we live our adult life. That's why we have to reparent ourselves. Because another example is because my dad wasn't really in my life. And you know how I always joke and say niggas ain't shit. I used to struggle really bad with abandonment issues. I always felt like everyone was gonna fucking leave me eventually, because my fucking father, the one person that loved me, the one that's supposed to love me, couldn't even be there for me. And so it's just like our inner child shapes who we are as adults subconsciously. So that's why reparenting ourselves is essential, in my opinion. I really do feel like it's essential. So when I looked this up as well, like we said, it's opinion based, but you know, everything is loosely from the internet, but is the internet always right? So we're just gonna let y'all figure it out for yourselves. There are 4 pillars of learning how to reparent yourself. And one of the 4 is discipline. The second one is joy. 3 is emotional regulation, and the 4th one is self-care. So I can go into the ones that are basic, because it's not going to be long definitions. Discipline is just pretty much knowing when to draw back and when to give something in. Because also when I talk about myself, sometimes I don't know when too much is too much. Sometimes I need to draw it in, and I need to have the discipline of learning myself and unlearning bad habits, and that takes discipline. Joy. Find the joy in little things. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves and keep trying to figure out what's our next move and what's next, and it gives us so much anxiety because we're not enjoying the places that we're at now. Emotional regulation. Same for discipline. Have discipline to know when your emotions are over your logic. And then the last one is self-care. Self-care. Take care of yourself. Mental health. Take care of your physical health. Take care of yourself to the point where you're able to show up for yourself like you need to.
That your childhood is never over. You're really as young as you feel. You can always go back and fix anything that you feel like you need to be fixed. Healing is something that is not linear. It's continuous, and it's a process. And it's something that you can work on, and that we work on every single day. And I'm not ashamed to say is, y'all, I'm not really working on my inner child or reparenting my inner child. I'm talking about it, but it's something that I need to do, and something that I need to work on, because I know I have lots of issues and some things I have to deal with, and I am in the process of working on them, if that makes sense. I'm in the process of working on mine. So we looked up ways on how you work on your said inner child. You first acknowledge your inner child. It has to be something you're open to do. Like they said, it's all about faith. If you don't believe it, you can't achieve it. People who want to open up their third eye chakra, people who don't believe in those things, you're not gonna be open to receiving what happens when your third eye is open. Have you ever tried opening your third eye?
I actually have not tried to open my third eye.
I was watching YouTube videos on how to do it, and
it also has a lot to do with what we eat too.
Yeah.
Because we eat mostly meat that doesn't give us enough to detox. It doesn't. So it's a lot, just not just our environment, but what we eat and what we, allow. Like eating shit from the fucking microwave also helps. I mean,
microwaving your food is bad for you?
Absolutely bad for you.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Since I haven't had, that's why I don't eat leftovers, and I haven't had leftovers probably in the last. And if I do, I put it in the oven.
Oh.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so a way to open up your acknowledging your inner child is you have to think of a few childhood memories, can be positive or negative. Recognize and accepting that the things that cause you pain is the best way to acknowledge your inner child. Journaling is another way to acknowledge your inner child. You bring back your childhood ways. I feel like you're the most creative whenever you're young.
Yeah.
And you're the most open and accepted to things whenever you're young. So it's always good to go retreat back to your childhood ways when it comes to stuff like that, just to see the world in a different way. And also leave the door open to healing. That's the number one thing to me. I feel like everyone thinks healing is something that just happens within this amount of time and that's it. You can't go back to it. It's over. No, you can heal from something. You can think you're healed from something and then the scar opens back up. You're like, shit, I'm still going through this shit. Yes, because healing is not something that happens over a period of time. You can take forever to heal for something and it's okay. And it's not something you should be ashamed of or something that is hard to do.
So there are other ways that you can reparent yourself is try meditation. It doesn't have to be the cliche way that I do it, where you just put meditation music on and sitting with all your crystals and your singing bowl. It can be as simple as you sitting in the stillness of your thoughts and really allowing yourself to understand why you feel the way that you feel. So meditation is actually really good for most people. You don't have to do it as consistently as you think so, but make it a part of your, not every day, but make it part of your routine to just start being more in tune with your thoughts. Another way that you can reparent yourself is, I only did two. Okay, another way you can reparent yourself is talk to a therapist. It is really nice to talk to an unbiased party that is not judging you and someone that you don't feel like, because you know sometimes when you tell your friends everything, you feel like they know too much about you to actually have a ideal of how you want to be presented. Talk to someone that doesn't know you. Like, it gives you a whole different outlook. It makes you feel free of the burden of all the things that you have inside of you, and you finally feel a sense of relief, if that makes any sense, because you just feel like you're not carrying around all that hurt, all those problems. So
Yeah,
I just think those are things you should definitely give a try as well.
yeah. I mean, for most people, I feel like childhood growing up is traumatic. I feel like I don't know a single person that doesn't have like one traumatic situation that happened to them growing up, and we all have our own burdens. We all have our own cross to carry, and we walk this earth not even acknowledging that other people have their own cross to carry too. And I even find myself also trying to be more empathetic to what people could be possibly going through, or being, what their home life was like to cause them to be the way they are now. So this inner child thing that we're supposed to be fixing and going through, it's a process for all of us. It's a process that people don't even sometimes get to complete before they leave this earth. And it's a journey, and we're just taking this journey together, and I'm gonna take a little vow that I'm gonna somehow try to work on my inner child too, because it's very important for all of us to be a bigger, better, badder bitch. Every day I feel like you should try to be a better person than you were yesterday. So ready to get to some questions? What is your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory is us traveling. I think that more than anything, that's what we did. I told you I went to Niagara Falls, I went to New York City, I went to places I would have never imagined as a child. And when you broke and you ain't got no money as a child, you feel like, damn, my parents is rich, we out here living. And then being an adult, you're like, damn, traveling is an expensive happening.
Your parents is rich. If you were traveling, your parents are rich.
I didn't think that was a rich man's thing.
Because imagine they got to pay for you, themselves, and the other kids.
It was me, my older sister, my other older sister, my little sister, my mom, and her husband.
Girl, child, because traveling me is already 1,000.
But he was a pastor, so he was really getting the congregation's money.
He was taking y'all on the church's dime.
Girl, I don't know. I'm assuming because most niggas nowadays do.
He was.
He wasn't.
He said, "We going on a vacation with the type this month."
Shit. We gonna find a way. He gonna find a way for Jesus.
No, don't say that.
He ended up preaching at a church. I was like, damn.
So where y'all went, he was preaching there?
Yeah, most times when we went somewhere, he would be preaching.
Girl, he was using the church's money to take his family.
It ain't got shit to do with me. He don't take it up with God if he ever sees him. Cause nigga, you're going to hell.
Yeah, the high. You know who was on the highway to hell? This was our tea time last week, and let's just talk about it now because I feel like it's still relevant. Mr. Hot Wheels himself, Mr. I want to wake up every day and try to make my piece of the earth as much hell as possible. Mr. I want to ban abortions because I want women to have babies because I don't know, bitch. What else? What else? What else?
Said he does not have control over his legs. It's crazy that you have the legs. I mean, control over the ovaries. Like,
girl,
make it make sense to me.
So he made it abortions ban after 6 weeks. So that means 2 weeks after your missed period, ladies, you cannot have an abortion. And if you go somewhere else to have an abortion, they can sue wherever you have an abortion. And it doesn't matter if you were raped or if it's incest. You must have that motherfucking baby.
You know, it's just really crazy to me to think that most people, after they miss their first period, they're in denial. So we really don't even know until our second month of pregnancy that we're actually pregnant because bitches be in denial. Because I remember one time I was like, oh my god, where's my period? Where did it go? And the next thing you know, Tammy was like, yeah, because ours is usually, and I'm like, I don't even know. And then like I'm just over here thinking, I'm like, what's going on? So it's like we really are in denial. It's not just me. Most women were like,
everyone is in denial
over our first month. We're like, it got to be a mistake. Maybe I've been stressing too much. Maybe my workout's been too intense. Because those things actually do change your period. If you work out more than you are used to, that changes your period. If you are more stressed, if you are eating worse, or
if you took a plan B that month,
if you took a plan B, you're probably gonna have 2 periods in 1 month. You know what I mean? But it's just like these are things that So how we know if we're pregnant? We don't know. We
don't know.
We just living out here on vibes and fucking.
Girl, I don't see. Like I feel like y'all. So I guess y'all just got to be more careful because we can't have abortions no more unless you want to travel to a different state to have it. Go Louisiana real quick. Girl. That's the only way. Y'all ladies be careful because these niggas have
Louisiana single come back with a whole fiance. Y'all know how them Louisiana niggas be.
Y'all, these men don't have the same, the same what's the world? The same restrictions that we have because when it's really if we get pregnant, we have to worry about it. The man can choose to be like, peace, and that's it. So be careful, ladies. Wrap your willy. Tell him to wrap his willy because.
And you heard it here first.
Baby care is cheap.
I'm gonna say the condom queen is telling you.
The condom
don't
queen.
Be silly.
Wrap your willy.
Because what was he saying? What did little one say? You don't want that latex.
That
latex. You don't want that.
Better
latex.
wear latex because you don't want that on latex.
So yeah, there we go. I'm not trying to drop bars, even though I'm not a rapper. But so my question is, how important do you think it is to repairing yourself? Even though you kind of already answered it, I guess you could just reframe it or say
it's important. I just don't have the skills or don't really know how to do it. So
y'all, I'm the skill set. You just haven't utilized them because we are really born with the tools to make ourselves better. We just don't know.
Are we? Because why are we so dumb? I feel like animals, whenever they're born, they just know how to survive. Humans, we just want to kill ourselves.
Human nature
to be dumb,
not to be dumb, but to be. We're being conditioned in everything. Because I was watching this video and they were saying he was like, why do when animals get sick they stop eating, but humans, when we're sick, we keep eating. We try to eat different things.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't feed a host that's sick. So yeah, I mean, it's like
animals are surviving, we don't.
I'm gonna say because we're conditioned in the nature of like, if you're sick, take medicine. If you're sick, take this. Or if you're we are taught things outside what is natural. That's why it's not. So we already have it in us. We just don't know how to get in tune with it. That's why meditating. That's why journaling. That's why being in tune with yourself.
I feel like we have to be taught those skills.
But we are taught to journal because in school, even in college, they told us write down X, Y, and Z. Like you said, as children, we're more creative. And as an adult, I realized when we had to journal in my college classroom about something of talk to yourself.
Yeah, freshman year, we used to always have that class.
No, it was my senior year. It was we had a class of I think it was speech and performance. So we had to write shit and perform it in front of the class. So we would have to here's your alter ego. What is your alter ego saying to you? Mm-hmm. So it would be little exercises like that. And I'm like, damn, what is she saying to me? Mm-hmm. So we are taught those things.
Yeah. But I feel like it's right now, as adults, it's harder to access it. Because I feel as a child, it's so easy to access that, that creativity, that that person. But now it's like, oh, I gotta think about it, because we are trained, pretty much we're trained to be workers and not to be free thinkers. So now it's like when we're like, oh, now we can think freely, we're like, okay, how the fuck do I do it?
Reparenting ourselves.
This is what this episode's about.
Honestly, like tapping into what to make you a better person.
Right.
What's your next question?
My next question is, I don't have one, but let's ask a random ass question.
Okay. Ask a random ass question.
My random ass question to you is, what is the most expensive thing you paid for
in life?
Yeah.
Bitch, me. I'm the most expensive thing I paid for.
Yeah.
Girl, I can't even think. I'm thinking about between passports.
Well, you're still paying for yourself. Like, you pay, like, that you paid for. Like, what's it that you bought? You know, let me say, what's the most expensive thing that you bought?
I want to say weave. Weave is very expensive.
Yeah.
I can't think of, other than my passport. But passport, I think I've bought weave more expensive than passport. I bought a wig like for $400 or $500.
Yeah.
And I got a passport for $200. So yeah, I got a $500 wig before.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty expensive. I don't think I will ever. I mean, I might do it again because it lasts. But
yeah, because you've been wearing that wig for like, I think, a year now.
Girl, yeah, because I got it when we were working at Diablo's. So now it's time for me to buy a new wig, honestly. So it's about that time. I asked her about a new wig. She would tell me $600. I'm like, damn, bitch, every single year you're going up in price. I get it, but
yes.
damn, I get it.
Yes, she is.
Child, what's the most expensive thing you bought?
The most expensive thing I bought was probably my car.
Did you buy it though?
Well, the car I was paying a car note on.
Girl, you ain't. Well, it wasn't bought. We were talking about what you bought, not what you were paying on. Because I'm paying on my car and it's still not bought.
It's still not bought.
And I don't think it's ever gonna be bought. Cause
you never gonna pay your car note off?
I don't know. I'm sick of it. They said it. That when it rains, if it has a note, let it float. So, and I got gap insurance. So I'm gonna just.
That's how I got on my car deal.
Yeah, I'm
I
definitely
had Gap paid for it.
Let it go. I don't know.
I guess you know what I do plan on. I don't know if I told you, I plan on getting lipo. So I do, and it's gonna cost me $3,500 in Miami.
I might get my titties done. Haven't decided yet.
So when I do get this lipo, that's gonna be the most expensive thing I ever bought.
Okay. Well, my second question is, what steps would you take to ensure that you are reparenting yourself?
None, because I haven't. I mean,
I said what steps would, not what steps are you taking. What steps would?
The steps that we talked about.
Okay.
Are the steps I would take. I'm gonna go through this journal, and then we're gonna. Those steps are the exact same steps I would take.
The steps I will take is I already journal, but I will definitely indulge in more self-care because sometimes I feel guilty about spending money when I feel like I should be paying off my credit card bills. I should be doing so many other things. I think my self-care is very important because it also is aligned with my mental health. So the only things I'm going to keep doing, which I'm already doing, is keep meditating, keep journaling, and keep giving myself some self-care, because what's the best thing about giving yourself some love?
Oh.
So thank y'all for starting us on this journey about reparenting yourself. Like we keep saying, it is all opinion based. We looked it up on Google, but also we looked it up through the holistic psychologist. So she actually is a doctorate within this shit. She has her own Instagram, and she drops gems all the fucking time. If you ever randomly see our Instagram stories, I might post something because I feel like she be speaking that real shit that people don't want to talk about. And while you're at it, follow us on social media platforms at The Real Sip and Spill, except Twitter, which is
Sip and Spill 1.
And while you're at it, leave us some 5-star ratings. We got some 5-star bitches.
Ow.
I sip wine, wine, wine.